Hi guys, it's Nicole and welcome back to my channel. I am really excited about today's video. It's probably the most excited I've ever been about a video. We're gonna dive right in. I reached out to people in our Poshmark community and asked them, what is the one thing you wish you knew before you started selling on Poshmark? And here's their answers.
Hi, I'm Haley from Haley's Hanger. I've been a full-time reseller on Poshmark since January of this past year, and it's been one of the most fun and best things I've ever done. If I could give one piece of advice, it would be to source what you love. So looking at a list of brands to be on the lookout for or high resale items can be overwhelming, but if you go into a store, pretend like you're shopping for yourself. Pick out things that you would normally wear. Pick out styles that you like. I promise it makes it way easier to list them if you're excited about them. And one other piece of advice, don't grow attached to things. So if you're a full-time reseller, buy clothes for yourself, wear them a little bit, and then resell them. That's one of the best things about selling on Poshmark is that you get a new wardrobe all the time, so take advantage of that.
Hello everybody, my name is Monique and you may know me on Poshmark and Instagram as Ellie Retro Girl. So I started on Poshmark about 2 years ago and I recently started reselling full-time. One tip I can provide you, since I've been reselling full-time for about a year now, is to really pay attention to your numbers. And what that translates to is really pay attention to your average per cost. At the end of the day, it will give you more profit, and for me it's all about working smart and not hard. So really just focus in what really works for you in terms of what brings you the most revenue, whether it's like dresses or jackets. Try to be you. I know it's a little bit difficult sometimes when you have a lot of competition and a lot of great things that other people are selling, but also just keep in consideration what works for you in terms of your average per cost. And yeah, I hope this tip can help you and lead you to success. And if you ever want to reach out to me, you can reach out to me on Poshmark or DM me on Instagram. Bye.
Hey everybody, it's Blake, aka PoshBossBlake, and one tip I wish I would have known before starting to resell on Poshmark would be, while sourcing, take my ego out of the knowledge that I have for fashion. What does that mean? I have a huge catalog of women's fashion in my mind. I love fashion, women's fashion in particular. That said, just because something is expensive does not mean it will resell well or keep its value whatsoever. That happens for a lot of brands. Some brands do keep it and exceed it, like an Hermes Birkin, but those are often not donated to a Goodwill. So in general, just keep an open mind when looking for brands and don't just look for brands that initially had a high price tag, because you never know what the resale value is until you do your market research. Thanks guys, bye.
Hi there, it's Elizabeth at Exclusively Ego, and the one thing I wish I knew before selling on Poshmark is to trust my gut more. There is so much information out there and it can quickly become overwhelming when deciding what right next steps to make in your business and this reselling journey. So I say trust your gut when it comes to everything from choosing whether to cross-list on other platforms or not, and what items to pick up and leave behind at thrift stores. I think at the end of the day, you know what's best for you, your inventory, and your business. So while you do, watch these videos and read those blogs, take everything with a grain of salt, apply what you need to apply to your business, and then leave behind whatever doesn't feel right for you. Because at the end of the day, that's what's gonna make you happy, and there's nothing more profitable than that.
Hello friends, Paula here. If you follow me on Instagram, you may recognize me as the cat who lives inside of your phone, and I'm here today to give you a tip on Poshmark. So one thing I wish I would have known when I started on Poshmark is that you can, and you should, relist old listings. Well, what is relisting? You're basically taking old, stale listings and copying them into new, fresh ones. The main reason for doing this is sometimes you have listings that you've price dropped so low, or you've sent out multiple offers to likers and nobody has purchased it. So you just want to maybe get it in front of new eyes, that's the main reason why I relist. Another reason that as a buyer, myself personally, I search by the just in feature versus the just shared feature. So if you have a listing, say it's a Madewell jumpsuit, and you listed it 3 months ago, and me, the buyer, is searching for a Madewell jumpsuit, and I'm sorting by just in, I'm gonna sort through 3 months of jumpsuits before I get to yours. So by relisting your item, you're pushing it to the top of that search, and you are putting it in front of fresh eyes. So relisting is super easy. I open the listing that I want to relist, click edit, then I open another window, a blank template in Poshmark. I drag and drop the photos, copy and paste the description, then I fill in all my item specifics and I list the new listing and I delete the old one. It really is that simple. It takes less than 2 minutes and you're getting it in front of fresh eyes, which is the main thing you want with relisting. So had I known this when I started on Poshmark, I probably would not have let so many items go for $10, $5, even $3. So if you have stuff in your closet and you're like, what the fuck? Why isn't this selling? Well, try relisting. And if it still doesn't sell, maybe just keep it for yourself. Have a great day.
My name is Kristen and I'm half of the reselling team. Voyage is a Verb. I do this with my husband full time, and something that I wish I would have known prior to kind of jumping into reselling as a full-time venture is that even though I didn't really have the opportunity because it was during a job transition that I made the decision, I really wish that I would have kind of been working toward going full-time. I never expected it. But even in things like making sure that you have savings for the slow seasons, and if you're not super self-disciplined, reselling full-time isn't going to suddenly shape you up. It's not like you're going to wake up every day and be a new person. It just doesn't do that. It's just an external circumstance, and these things need to come from within. So I think for me, kind of prior to going into this full-time, I just wish I would have, I don't know, just kind of gotten my shit together, gotten my finances together, started saving for something like this, because when you go through these seasons, like for example, summer was really hard for us. When you go through these seasons for the first time, you don't realize how hard it's going to impact you if you haven't really prepared for it. And then, yeah, just the other side of it, just being like, if you're not self-disciplined, this isn't suddenly going to make you that way. If there are areas in which you already struggle with being a reseller, going full-time is only going to heighten those things. So really just kind of working toward it in small bite-sized pieces until you know you're ready, versus kind of going and flailing and saying, oh, I hope I figured this out, because even if you're totally prepared, you're not. And I just think that the better prepared you can be, the better you're going to be at reselling full time.
All right, make sure your title is searchable. And by that I mean, make sure you're using words that when people are up on the Google, yes, the Google, because when people search for my stuff, or rather when they search for stuff, my stuff pops up, because I make sure that I use the words that the people on the Google are looking for. So for example, if I were to buy a sweater and I called it sweater, but I put all the item specifics to describe that sweater on Poshmark, unfortunately that is limited to only the Poshmark platform. Whereas if I were to write tartan plaid, crew neck, long sleeve, knit sweater, women's size medium. Now, boom shakalaka, everybody and their mama on the Google will also find it, who happen to search for at least a few of those keywords. So be mindful of that, because it also deters your sales. Hello. And so something I've gotten into practice of doing is that when I'm sourcing, I'm thinking about the keywords I'm going to use to describe the particular garment. And so it's also stopped me from picking up some bad buys. Not that I don't still make them, of course, but I make them less often, because if I pick something up and I'm like, it's cute, it's a filler, but I'm like, who's looking up white tee? Unless it's like Supima cotton, or anyway, you get my point. Good luck out there. You got this. Keywords rule everything around me. And you too, make that money, honey, with integrity.
Hello everyone, my name is Johnny Francisco. My Instagram name is threadheads_apparel, and I've been on the Poshmark platform for 3.5 going on 4 years. My tip for you is to keep a good set of books. I come from a financial background, so keeping a good set of books for me is everything. When it comes to sourcing, right, what you're spending on a monthly basis for your inventory, your sales, it's going to be important numbers for you, and of course your profit margins. Now, it doesn't matter if you're a beginner reseller or a seasoned veteran. Keeping a good set of books is really going to be crucial for you no matter what. Also doesn't matter how you keep your books. If it's something very simplistic like a notepad or an Excel spreadsheet, that's okay. Or if it's something a little bit more complex like a QuickBooks software, that's both are going to be very beneficial for you in understanding your business and where your business is headed. To build upon the sourcing piece, the other thing I would say is let people know what you're doing. I can't tell you how many times that we've had family or friends reach out after a garage sale or spring cleaning and said, hey, we're going to donate all of this. Do you want it? If they didn't know what we were doing, we would have never had that opportunity. And again, we're all in this to make money, right? This is a business. What's more profitable than free inventory? So again, really simple. The two things I would say I would leave you with is keep a good set of books and let people know what you're doing. My name is Johnny Francisco. Instagram, you can find me at threadheads_apparel. On the Poshmark platform, it's just threadheads with a Z.
Hey y'all, I'm Tiffany.
I'm Suzanne.
And we're Infinity Raine. And we've been asked a lot lately about what are some tips that we could give you guys, or tips we wish we would have known before we started on Poshmark. And we've kind of been talking about it lately, and I think one of the biggest things is social media. We wish we would have started our Instagram pages and Facebook pages like about the same time we started Poshmark, because our followers on our Poshmark don't reflect the followers on our social media. So we wish we would have started to do that, but it was hard when we were trying to figure out how to build this business. But I would say we've got it down pat now. I do most of our internet stuff. Suzanne does her little magic with everything else. And I think we're starting to get the hang of it.
We're getting there.
Yeah, we're getting there. We're a little old school, but I think we're figuring it out. But I would say that is probably one of the biggest is our Instagram.
My tip would be, as far as when I first started, I didn't know what I was doing and I was pricing things too low. And so just make sure you're pricing your things correctly and not too low, because if you don't value your items, no one else will. And you actually start getting those customers that are really not your ideal customers and tend to complain a lot. So
we don't want those.
No. So just make sure that you don't price your items too low. So that would be my tip.
So we hope that those two tips are help you guys out in some way. Please feel free to reach out to us anytime with questions. We always try to help everybody out. So thank y'all for watching. Have a great day.
Hi, my name's Debbie and my closet name on Poshmark is KeepCalmPoshOn with a little N in the middle. And what would I tell myself way back when I first started about 3 years ago on Poshmark? I wish I had known that every comment you write on Poshmark is basically visible to anyone. Not that I did anything bad at the beginning. I always like to think I've had good customer service from the beginning, but I will remind especially the newer poshers that it's a good opportunity to really show your personality, positivity, and just great interaction with customers. Really good customer service. And here's one little tidbit that I would love to have known right from the beginning is before you reply to anybody, it takes you 1 second to just go to their closet page and see if they have their first name listed there. If they do, when you're replying to them, just say, Hey, Nicole. Hey, Nicole, thanks for your interest. I feel like there's a lot less personal approach on Poshmark with some of the comments. There's a lot of cutting and pasting, which is fair enough, copying, cutting and pasting. But I feel like the more personal approach has helped my business exponentially. And I would definitely recommend that going back to myself and especially to new poshers moving forward now with their closets. Good luck.
So, the one thing that we wish we knew when we started Poshmark that we know now, I would say, and I think Brad would agree, is not to be afraid or nervous to ask for help. When we first started out, I would probably say...
we did pretty much everything wrong.
Everything wrong for the first year. We were, like a lot of people, we were nervous to ask, we felt shy, and really that first year we learned through trial and error to a lot until we finally...
Which is tough to do.
It is, it's very hard because there are lots of little intricacies with selling on Poshmark that you kind of just figure out along the way. But it's always good when you ask for help from other people to kind of give you that jump start.
And that's why this community is totally different than any other platform, because there is that interaction with other people that are doing the same thing we are. So you shouldn't be afraid to reach out. It doesn't matter how big or how small you are, you should reach out and definitely seek help or advice on anything, because
we all grow together. We grow stronger. Together we are strong.
Yes.
So that's really what we would suggest. Don't be afraid. Reach out, ask for help, or even the most simple questions, and it will help you succeed.
It definitely will.
Hi, it's Emily Munn, also known as @EmilyHMunn on the Poshmark app. And if I could go back in time and tell myself one piece of advice about selling on Poshmark, it would be, if it's not listed, it can't sell. I remember back when I first started reselling, I would literally have piles and piles of unlisted inventory all over the floor in the spare bedroom of our home that was just sitting there and not listed on the Poshmark app. And it was because I loved sourcing, I loved buying items, but I didn't put a priority on listing those items because I didn't think about how much money was just sitting there with the unlisted inventory. What I've done as I've grown my Poshmark business is really put an emphasis on listing the death pile, not having one. Because really what I found out over time is that if those items are not listed, they can't sell, like I said, and I can't use those profits to grow my business. So it stunts my business growth in a way. So I really try to list things pretty soon after I source them. And even though I love sourcing, I try to make sure that I'm listing those items as well. It's been really helpful to me. And just remember, if you're selling on Poshmark, if it's not listed, it can't sell.
My name's Ashley and my Poshmark closet is EveryDeyStyle. I'm sure most people will say that their one piece of advice is to share your closet and then share some more. While that is important, I would say that your listing description is so much more important than sharing, because if you don't have proper titles and descriptions and keywords of what people are searching for, you could share it till you are blue in the face, and if no one's searching for it, no one will find it, so you don't really need to be sharing it. So get those listings together, get those descriptions together, then you can start sharing a bunch.
Hey everybody, my name is Nick, 18 and Thrift on Instagram, and @NICHO_WASKO on Poshmark. And the tip that I would give myself for when I first started my Poshmark journey, and the tip I give anybody who asks me what they want to do to grow their business, is make what you're doing fun. Make it a point to make your reselling job fun. Make it the best job you've ever had. And what I mean by that is, you know, really up to the beholder, but for me, it's selling what I love and not burning myself out on one thing. Once you overwork yourself on anything, you're not going to have any motivation to do anything. So what I tell people is, you know, give yourself a schedule and split up what you're doing. Take some tasks and do them throughout the day. Do them on your phone. Make it so it doesn't feel like you're working so hard, but your results are growing exponentially. And that's what I saw with my business once I started doing this. As soon as I started buying stuff that I was excited to list, stuff that I thought was cute or adorable or fit my aesthetic as a brand or as my personal style, my sales skyrocketed. And now at this point, I've sold over 4,000 things. And I think if this teenager can do that, literally anybody can do that. So that's my biggest tip, is making your job fun for you. And that's different for each person. And also having consistency in what you do, whether it be sharing or listing or anything, if you're consistent in what you do and you enjoy doing it, your results are going to be amazing. Thank you.
Hey y'all, my name is MogiBeth. Thank you so much, Nicole, for having me on. So my tip today is to systematize every little thing in your business. What that means is having a step-by-step guide for what you do in any part of your business, from bookkeeping to inventory to when you find a flaw on an item. This will make everything within your business so much more efficient and fast. It will also help you take the emotion out of these things. For instance, if you have systematized your return process, then you won't get so flustered when a return happens. You'll just know what to do. You can fall back on it and just push through. It will also allow you to eventually delegate these tasks if that's the way you want to go. If you want to scale and grow your business, if you already have really clear-cut systems in place, then you can easily train those things and keep on growing, keep on scaling, keep on focusing on the things that you love within your business. And it's almost thinking about it as if you're eventually going to sell or franchise your business, as if you are eventually not going to be a core component of your business. I think that's the best way to approach any business. And if you're interested in that topic, I highly recommend this book, The E-Myth by Michael E. Gerber. So good, literally for any entrepreneur, but I think it really applies to reselling as well. So I hope that helps. I will talk to y'all later. Bye!
GirlyGrrlStyle here, also known as Tori. And one of the things I wish I knew when I first started Poshmark that would have helped me out significantly is how valuable my time is. So I'm the type of person that I go 1,000% in on anything I do, probably like a lot of you. And when I first started, I was wearing myself so thin. I was working a full-time job. I was spending more than 40 hours a week working on reselling and Poshmark in general. I was spending time with my puppy and with my family and curating my YouTube channel, and I was really wearing myself thin. So being able to be a part of the community and talking to so many other people like you, I really was able to realize a year and a half later that your time is one of the most valuable assets you own. And so what I mean by that is, in the year and a half that I've been on Poshmark, I'm spending less time working on Poshmark, and I would say I'm making more money. And I know that seems a little crazy, but what I was doing before is I would spend hours and hours sourcing every single week, and then I would come home and I would spend hours doing all of these little data details that honestly I loved, but it took a lot of my time. So being mindful of your time is going to make a huge, huge impact. So what that means, the way that I fixed the sourcing piece is that I found better ways to source, quicker ways to source. So my husband is full-time, and he spends a little bit more time than I do, but sourcing in particular, we source maybe 2 hours a week, maybe 3. Honestly, and that's weekly, and that's because we love the Goodwill outlet. We go to the bins, we dig through everything, we love to get our hands dirty, nose down in the bin, because I can spend 2 to 3 hours at a time and walk away with like 50 pounds of items. And that right there has been a game changer. So that's one way that I can manage my money manage my time with sourcing. And then the other way, when it comes to your books and your finances, there are shortcuts. You don't have to be as data driven. I love the numbers, but there are a lot of different people out there that have done the work for you. So Poshmark introduced the sales report. There's a new inventory report coming out. So there's a lot of ways that you can get that data as well. And as a type A personality, I thought that I had to do it all myself, and I realized, no, you don't. And guess what? Neither do you. So number one tip, wish I'd known, hopefully it'll help you, but think about your time. Spend a week and just log your hours and see where you're spending your time, and then reach out to your community for some advice and tips. Hope that helps, everybody. See ya!
Hey, my name is Jen. I go by a British Posher on Poshmark and on Instagram. I've been a Poshmark seller for 2 years and I have been full-time selling on Poshmark for the last 8 months. The one piece of advice that I would give a new seller, or that I wish I knew in the beginning that would have saved me a lot of money, is that you do not need all the fancy things, all the fancy equipment in order to be successful or in order to get started at all. You do not need to spend tons of money on a professional lighting kit, on a mannequin, a fancy expensive printer to print your labels on, whatever it may be. All of those things are great additions down the line, but you absolutely do not need them in the beginning, and they do not determine your success at all. A lot of the things that I purchased to get my business started, like a lighting kit, a mannequin, I don't even use now. The only things that you need in order to be successful on Poshmark is 2 things. The first is going to be a phone, which I'm assuming that you have with access to the internet. And the second thing is going to be some items that people want to buy. That is it. As long as you have those 2 things, you're set, you're good to go, you have everything that you need in order to be successful. So go out there, find some inventory, take some pictures on your phone, list those items, get them up, and then you can always add in the expensive things further down the line, but you absolutely do not need them at all in order to be successful.
Hey guys, my name is Baikley. You can find me on Instagram, Poshmark, and YouTube at Baikley, Baikley with a K in the middle. And what I want all new Poshers to know is self-sharing. First, foremost, always self-share. I've been a reseller on a lot of other platforms for over a decade, and I downloaded Poshmark and uploaded a few things and didn't understand self-share. And I was looking at my, after a few months, I was like, why is nothing happening? I gave up on the platform entirely. I ended up finally coming back, and now I'm obsessed with it and I love it. And it's all about self-sharing first. Community shares are great. You want to show love around. That's kind of what the community here, the feeling is all love and sharing, but do your own closet first. I did not make a single sale for probably 8 months because I didn't understand self-sharing at all. I've sold hundreds and hundreds of items now, and I would always recommend, I've got a lot of friends who have asked for assistance of trying to figure out, how do I make money off of this? Self-share your own items. Do it first, and then you'll definitely see results. Think about, there are 7 million users on the platform. That's billions of items. If you list your item and then never touch it again, it's never going to get seen by anyone, and you want your item to sell. That's why we're all here. So self-share first, give the community some love after, but make sure that you're sharing your items at least once a day. 3 times is kind of the golden number that a lot of people like to stick with. Share as often as you can, and just have fun with it. And we're always here to help, and we're happy that you're here with us now too.
Hi, my name is Nicole, and I sell on Poshmark under the closet name Requisite Thread. If there's one piece of advice that I wish somebody had shared with me when I started out reselling, it would be to be true to myself. And as hokey as that may sound, ultimately what I mean is playing the Marie Kondo method when you're doing your car edit at the thrift. If something doesn't bring you joy, leave it behind. I speak from personal experience that when you deviate too far from the items that you're inherently drawn to, you get into trouble. And what I mean by this is, pieces don't necessarily have to be things that you would wear yourself, but at minimum they should be items that you're excited to find a new home for. Otherwise, I believe that you get home, they'll end up in your death pile, you procrastinate steaming, photographing, and listing them. And as we all know, the name of the game here is to get items listed and make that money. So again, when you're out picking, sourcing, stay true to yourself and really only take home the pieces that you're passionate about. All right, thanks. Bye, friends.
Hello, everybody. We are the channel Jack Valentine. I'm Jack.
I'm not Valentine, I'm Ryan.
It's named after me. First off, thank you, Nicole, for having us be part of this.
Thanks, Queen. Love you.
It means so much to us.
Say hi to the kids and Joe.
Oh, thank you so much. But we're going to jump into the number one tip that we wish that we knew when we started off on Poshmark. We are full-time Posh sellers. And the number one thing that we wish we knew is...
It takes patience and hard work. It's not as idyllic as it is on Instagram. You can't just walk into Goodwill and find all of these lovely things that are going to make you all this money. It takes time and it takes effort.
I think people see the Instagrams of these, like, if you want to say bigger resellers, finding these amazing things like Louis Vuitton and like this and that, stacks of packages. And then they kind of think that if you start reselling, you're just going to boom into this like huge success.
No. It's
not that way at all. People who find these Louis Vuittons and stuff, they go to the bins for hours on end, like 8 hours
in the bins. If you go to a thrift store, it's going to a thrift store multiple times a week, multiple different
all of
stores
them.
in a day.
You go to like all your thrift stores 3 times a week. And then, not to mention, since we're Poshmark sellers, you have to spend hours and hours and hours sharing. We share multiple times a day. Sharing is the number one way that we get our sales, and so we spend hours doing that. Those boxes don't come from us just sitting. We're sharing endlessly, and that's where we get our stacks of packages that are going out in the day. It takes hours and hours to list, to take pictures, to measure, to answer people's questions.
I was just going to say, it's responding to people, answering questions, you know, especially if it's Poshmark, sending offers to likers. It's a lot of different, like, little pieces that, like, make the bigger machine work.
And it's endless hard work because I know you think that I'm my own boss. I make my own schedule. I don't have to do this 40-hour-a-week job. Think again, because
it's a lot more.
In my opinion, and I'm sure Ryan agrees, when you're your own boss, it never ends.
No.
You don't clock out at the end of the day and get to go home and relax. You are always working, basically, because you're always responding to comments. You're always sharing. There's like a party at 11 a.m. There's a party at 9 p.m. You want to share to both of them. You're working all day long. Don't underestimate the amount of work that goes into it. Have the patience to build yourself up to that success level. And understand that it takes time and effort. Don't be discouraged, though.
No,
you can do it.
Giving up is for quitters.
Just don't expect that you're going to dive into the success right away. That's our number one tip.
Patience
have patience and have hard work. That's kind of two, but it's the same idea. Thanks again, Nicole.
Thanks. Bye.
Hi babes, I'm Lauren. I could be found at Coal City Loot in our corner of the internet. Our friend Nicole asked me to provide my best Posh tip, and here it is. Basically, I have been selling on another platform for a long time, and when I heard about Poshmark, I was like, oh my god, this is great. I had a lot of different opinions on it, but I did decide to jump in. So fast forward a few years later, and I realized that I was cross-posting and I was putting effort into 2 places, and it just wasn't working for me. So recently I decided to quit Poshmark, take a step back, focus on another platform. I did go to Poshfest, I did feel the Posh love, I did get rejuvenated, so I did decide a new strategy for success for my Poshmark closet. I do lists on 2 platforms. I don't necessarily cross-post, but I did find something that works for me. So my Posh tip is making sure that you can put full effort into what you're doing. If it's cross-posting, if it's only posting on one platform, if it's, you know, whatever works best for you. I am a one-woman show. So I need to decide what is going to make me the most profit, what is going to work the best for me, what is going to make me not burn out, and I decided that's my solution. So my best tip is to find what works for you, and in regards to cross-posting or anything like that, make sure that you're putting 100% of your energy into what you decide to do, because ultimately that's what will work for you, and don't compare yourself to other resellers that are cross-posting all over the place. I hope this helped somebody. I hope this was useful, and I look forward to talking to you guys soon. Bye!
Hello, my name is Jessica Johnson, and I am at Juniper_Jess on the Poshmark app. I've been selling for about 2.5 years now on multiple platforms. What I wish I knew in the beginning when starting selling on Poshmark is to cross-post all of my items onto Poshmark, even those that aren't considered trendy. There are a whole bunch of buyers of different ages, races, size, styles that shop on Poshmark, and they just want to find items to fit them as well. So I think it's important to keep your mind open when you're sourcing to pick up different styles and brands, and it helps your buyers feel seen and makes your closet stand out more. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Lynn and I'm Lynn Simmons on the Poshmark app. First of all, I want to thank Nicole for inviting me to be a part of this video. I'm very honored, so thank you, Nicole. If I had to choose something I wish I had known when I first started selling on the app, it would have to be organization. I wish I had come up with some sort of system, inventory system, that would have allowed me to find my items that had sold much easier. I can think of about 4 or 5 times where I've had to cancel an order because I just could not find that item. I'd either sold them in a yard sale, or I had given them to a friend or donated it, and I just didn't keep track of where things were. They were just hanging in with my regular items in my own closet. I had my shoes for sale, mixed in with my own shoes, and, then I moved and all kinds of things that happened. So I wish I would have had a better inventory system from the get-go, whether it be, bin system with numbers, or putting all the jeans in a certain area, or a hanging system, or whatever. I personally do a bin system now with numbers, and it has been amazing. But had I done that initially, I could have saved myself a lot of time, because once you get 400 or 500 active listings and you're trying to switch everything over to a new inventory system, it takes a while to do that, and it takes away from your listing time and the time you're sharing your closet, and then your sales go down because you're reorganizing everything and putting everything into a spreadsheet. And had I done that initially, I could have saved myself a lot of time. So that would be my tip for anyone starting out on the Poshmark app is, watch YouTube videos, find some great inventory ideas, and see if you can implement those in your own business. Again, thanks, Nicole, and I will see y'all later.
Hi, I'm Jessica, one half of Acquitted Apparel, and a tip that Tyler and I have for you is that cheap inventory doesn't necessarily mean good inventory. Just because something's $1 doesn't mean that it's worth your time to pick up, list, and do all the effort for. There are more deals than you have money out there, as my grandfather always said. So take your time, figure out what's worth it, what sells for you, and don't just jump on items because they're cheap. Sometimes those $5 and $10 items are worth a lot more and are easier to list and sell in the long run, even though they cost a little more up front.
Hi, my name is Tiara, and my Poshmark closet is Rue San Francisco. And I'm here to share with you the one thing I wish that I knew when I first started Poshmark. So pretty much from day one, I was reached out to by women, men, users on the Poshmark platform who were inexplicably pumped for me. They were supportive, they were cheerleading, they were offering tips for photography and flat lays, and this was a totally unsolicited wave of kindness that I both didn't anticipate and didn't know what to do with. So I would get invites to go to a coffee meetup and I would decline, or I would see the announcement for Posh and Sip and I would think that sounds completely terrifying, and so I wouldn't go. And once I tapped into the community that Poshmark has and started answering some of those messages and accepting those invitations, the game completely changed for me. I found that I was surrounded by like-minded, upward-moving, positive-thinking individuals who wanted me to succeed too. It was kind of a foreign feeling, and I also felt like as an adult that I'd made the friends I was going to have in this life, and I didn't think there was a door open to make more. I wish that I had tapped into that resource sooner. I wish that I had said yes faster. I wish that I hadn't missed so many amazing Poshmark events that take so much time and effort to happen. I wouldn't be sitting here giving you this tip in this video if I hadn't met Nicole through Poshmark. So for me, the friendship angle has been really amazing. And if you're watching this, I want to encourage you to go answer a DM from a stranger who wants to grab coffee and say yes. Say yes to that thrifting group in town that wants to go on a day trip and go sourcing. Say yes. That would be my advice to you. And I wish that I would have done more of that when I started. So get in there, hit that DM box and make me proud. Cheers.
Thank you so much to everyone who watched this video. I really appreciate everyone who also collaborated with this video. Thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to provide a tip for this community. If you guys can take a second and look down below, there are links to every single person in this community. Make sure you're following them on Instagram, on Poshmark, on YouTube, all of those places. They are great people. Unfortunately, I couldn't include everyone in our community, and I really wish I could. I wish I could have had thousands of people give every tip. That would have been amazing, but time is limited. So to the people who could give me tips for this, thank you so much, and thank you for watching this video. When I reached out to everyone, all I said was, hey, can you give me one tip? Just one tip that you wish you would have known when you started selling on Poshmark. And it's amazing to me that there was no duplicate tips. And I think for me personally, my tip is that you need to embrace that uniqueness in our community and realize that everyone is running their business in a unique way, and there is room for all of us. There is room for all of us. There's 5 million sellers on Poshmark, but 50 million buyers, and that's just going to grow, and we are stronger together. So thank you so much to everyone who participated, and thank you so much to everyone who watched this video. Please take a second and give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and also share it. Share it on Instagram. Tag us. Tell us what your favorite tip was. I would love to know. Tag me, tag the people who were in the video. Tell us what your favorite tip was. Leave a comment down below for the people in the video. And again, thank you for your time. We appreciate you. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.